and then Batrider, same thing, like EMP him, and he's pretty much wrecked. So Shane.
Yes, most of the Ember Spirits we've seen recently have gone mid. How does Invoker do?
He crushes him.
Bruno's giving me the eyes.
We're all giving you guys.
Invoker, even if he goes Quasso X, he beats him. If he goes X-Sword, I think he beats him harder. Because Flame Guard doesn't really matter when you're getting right-clicked for like 100 damage at level 3.
And he has really low base HP as well.
Yeah, he does not have very good stat gain, so.
Although I actually had a chance to watch interview done by AI when he was at the South by Southwest Monster Cup. Is that called Monster Cup?
Monster Invitational or something?
Monster Invitational.
I think that's what it was.
So in his interview, he was talking about none of the other teams are playing Ember Spirit, which he thinks, is a surprise because he thinks Ember Spirit right now is one of the more stronger heroes. And their way of actually playing Ember Spirit is actually skipping the Flame Guard. He says that if you actually max out the chain and then the Sleight of Fist, you do actually a lot more damage. But the only time you could actually get to do that if you're a safe lane carry where you're not under a lot of like harass or whatnot. So if he's not going mid, we could actually see Fnatic Batrider go mid. We see Hani, I think, play mid against Cloud9 the other day with the Batrider mid. So there is a possibility that Arrow will be playing the Ember Spirit, in which case he might get to go for a different skill build that might not prioritize Flame Guard. But we'll see how things go, because right now the Fnatic lineup is very versatile in terms of laning. You could go, Batrider off lane, Ember Spirit mid and pick up Arrow's hero, or you could do Ember safe lane, Batrider off, and pick up a mid hero. It's really hard to predict.
If he goes Exhort on Invoker, I feel he's way easier to kill, like the gank, like with Chen. But if he's Quas Wex, it's insanely hard to gank a Quas Wex.
Yeah, the movement speed is a big
And the tornado as well, just like, goodbye, you're up in the air. See you later, lads. Earthshaker.
I like the ES pick. I love it against Bat, just in general, because I can't remember what team. Maybe it was
my god, that game.
Yeah, it was Cloud9, right. He was playing on Earthshaker, and every single time there was a Batrider initiation, it's just, nope, fissured. And the nice thing about that hero is every single patch, they buff his fissure range, so eventually he'll just be able to do it from the well.
Yeah.
But it's seriously so good. You can stand as far away as you want. You can let your teammates initiate. No big deal. The only thing you have to be cautious of is with the clockwork. Sometimes you can inadvertently block your own teammate if you get stuck in cogs and you like break one, but he fissures that side, and then you're just like kind of sad.
You can also do the thing in the middle where you ancient farm. Or
yeah, you can do that as well.
I imagine that's something that might be done this game.
It could be.
Yeah.
It denies a little bit of experience from the mid.
It really helps Invoker to, get that lead that he wants. And right now, Vitus.Pro don't have heroes that really need help. Clockwork should be fairly self-sufficient by himself. So yeah.
Slardar is still in as well. And we've seen a lot of Dazzle Slardar combos.
We also seen a lot of Dazzle by itself. I'm not sure. I think Andy and I have been talking a lot about Dazzle. What's your take on the hero? Like, is he worth all the hype?
I think he's really good for over-aggressive heroes like Clockwork who want to get up in their face, and he can like shallow grave them to get them out of trouble.
Okay.
And the ulti really makes him like Invoker or something like that, like right-click just so much harder. I think it's really good. It's good with illusion heroes as well.
Okay.
Like Naga and stuff like that.
Cool.
Andy, your face is weird.
That's because Fnatic just picked Morphling, man.
Okay.
I don't see the problem with the hero.
Here, I think it's okay, because look at Vitus.Pro. What push potential does that team have?
Forge Spirits?
10 seconds remaining.
None right now. Vitus.Pro my last
They have
pick.
none, but their last pick has to be a carry.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
unless they pick like a Luna, which is they can't because it's banned, and they don't have Lycan because they banned it themselves.
And Dazzle can push pretty well.
Do you just pick like?
Is that
He can heal.
Like, do you just pick AM?
Anti-mage.
Do you pick Mirana and just try to go ham?
Doesn't Morphling counter AM though? Like he can make an illusion of the really strong.
I mean, I think it's
counter
more
each other.
Yeah, it's more of like
because if you blink Manta on Morphling, and the Morphling doesn't have waveform, you go and you explode.
Actually, Morphling used to be a very popular hero past TI2, and AM's rise of popularity was killing Morphling day after day after day.
Yeah. It's kind of who gets a jump though, isn't it? Like if the AM gets a jump on the Morphling, he has the advantage, but if it's the other way around.
There are some situations where I would say that the AM has the advantage, but sometimes, like way back when Morphling was picked, like Libby was saying, Shadow Demon was also very common, and Shadow Demon like destroys anti-mage, so it's very hard to deal with.
So your potential, it's going to be a Drow Ranger, not exactly like most old school of pushers.
That's so risky though.
It is. For most Drow games, you have to be at parity or ahead, and we'll see whether Vitus.Pro's early game is good enough for that.
I love the greedy choice, though, I'll be honest. I really like the fact that Fnatic picked Morphling, which I never thought I would hear myself say. But given these circumstances,
yesterday you were like,
you're looking at VP's team, it's like, sure, the Drow might get some But Ember deals very well with Drow, and so does Morphling, and so does Bat. So I'm really hoping that the counter initiation from this Earthshaker and the Clockwork and maybe a Quaswex Invoker can buy him the space that he needs, because if not, we're going to see a repeat of last time VP played Drow in the Dream League, and it wasn't great, you know? And G has a new Invoker set. What a player.
Look at his face. He looks like a clown.
It is a little bit crazy looking, isn't it?
What is this set? I don't think the mask is...
Yeah, is this part of the set? Apparently it has different styles. You can set it to Exort,
I think this is the Dota Cinema
or
set.
hair. Exort, Quas, Wex, or hair.
So he must be playing Wex Invoker.
Judging by his set,
Yes. Unless it's like an elaborate next level tro.
Oh, but he has the Wex face on. He must be Wex.
Well, he got pulled a few tangos, which is pretty common, but I don't think...
I think if you go this, you go Exort.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I don't think you buy this much regen if you're going Quas Wex.
Especially the null talisman.
Typically what I do at least is I'll go 3 Quas, 1 Wex, because you can just right click the person like over and over and over again. And the other nice thing is too is that you don't need more points into Wex for the laning phase. All you need is a Tornado, because the lift time is based on Quas. So if you're against a Bat Rider per se, in some cases all you have to do is throw the Tornado and it doesn't matter because you have the regen, right?
Yeah, but the baby Tornado is not exactly great. It's so small, the range, if you only have one.
Yeah, it's small, but you don't need the range. You just need to make sure that it hits, because I'm just speaking like, obviously Bat Rider's offlane this game, but if he was mid, then if he's walking towards you because you have like 4 or 5 stacks of Napalm, it's like a guaranteed Tornado every time, even if it's 1 Wex. Anyway. We kind of tangentized quite a bit, and No-Tail's going to block the Ancients just because he was anticipating that fissure mid, so that's already come into play, using a Sentry for that.
Yep, good stuff. The thing I'm very surprised about is Era on the top lane is he actually didn't skill his morph until he was well between his tier 1, tier 2 tower, and now he's morphing to a lot to agility, which is normal, but look at his mana, it's done. So when he gets 2 and 3, he's actually going to miss one waveform because of that. Hopefully it doesn't, you know, cause him to miss a kill.
Maybe he was waiting to see what the lanes would be.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Because if it was an aggressive lane with a Drow and an Earthshaker, it would actually be very difficult for him to farm. And in a 1v1, sure, Trixie probably beats the Clockwork, but it's not by a huge margin. I don't think you can actually kill Clockwork in that 1v1 unless he plays really poorly.
When he learns the cogs and he just starts draining your mana, it's so infuriating.
Yeah, right now, this seems like Trixie's having a little bit of a hard time, but he does have 4 stack here on the Dazzle, now 5. He's actually going to bully the Dazzle back a little bit.
He might get first blooded here. He's going to end up dropping Earthart. He picks off Arrow while he's solo, and now Fly wants to commit. He's waiting for the battery assault to wear off. He's got Ether Shock and Shackle, but he unfortunately is not going to be able to do it on his own. So that mana was a problem, and mid as well. Or excuse me, not mid, off lane. Looks like there was a kill. So Trixie gets Dazzle, but forfeits his own life.
I mean, that's a win here for Trixie. So, would you consider a win? Like
he didn't give the kill to Illidan, so I guess it's okay.
No, a win for the Bat Rider.
Yeah, getting a kill and then not giving gold to the carry is definitely a win.
But I did not imagine that Morphling would die to a Clockwork solo.
It was what you said about the no mana, and then the mana burn from the cogs.
Yeah, he couldn't morph to a strength, unfortunately. And that's going to force Era to forego any thought of going ahead of Midas. He just goes boots first now.
I think that was honestly a bit of a mistake by the supports too, because if your laner is having a hard time, you don't pull. You know what I mean? Like, because he pulled right there, he didn't have a creep wave, and I think he was maybe expecting to have one and just got caught at a position because there was nothing there. Because if battery assault at level 1 is around a full creep wave, you're not dying, right? Like, you can just sit there. But because he didn't have any creeps, then suddenly the situation changes drastically. And Trixie is going to get fissured here, trying to fly over the trees. He's got the Firefly. I don't think they're actually going to be able to kill him.
Sunstrike though!
Oh, they got him.
G1.
Right on target. And you guys are wondering what kind of build we're seeing. It's not a Wex build. It's going to be an Exort Invoker. And that's going to, going back to the point that you're saying, it doesn't matter if you have Flame Guard or not, or Ember Spirit, you're going to just take right clicks up the face. And that's exactly what G is doing to...
Sunstrike is pure damage as well.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a 3 CS Ember Spirit compared to the 17 and 4 of G. So, yeah, Invoker stomps this hero very hard.
Spared you future loss.
I'm not sure whether Ember Spirit could go mid against the majority of the good mid heroes.
Well, you have to Bottle Crow pretty much if you're going to mid on this thing, especially if you're against a hero that's ranged, because you need to use your Flame Guard to push out the wave a lot. and you need to make sure that you can get rune control, which in this situation, honestly, for Hani, shouldn't be too difficult. He's already got a haste, so he can secure the 4-minute rune pretty easily. He's got vision of at least bottom, so...
I mean, sure, I guess you could activate a Flame Guard and walk next to the creep wave, but that's not going to stop G from right-clicking you, right?
Well, the Flame Guard has enough range to where if G is actively doing that, he'll pull creep aggro himself,
Okay.
and he will have to reposition.
All right.
So, I mean, it's not an ideal situation, but I think it's pretty much the only thing you can do. Otherwise, you're kind of just sitting there and waiting.
All right, looks like we're going to get a little bit of help on the mid lane here. Chen is coming around with the Furball creep, but well, G got it. Attack. Oh, he's really slow on the reaction, and he's going to go down here. Sunstrike's going to get dropped, not going to get any kill. He definitely saw the Furball for like a full second. I guess he was looking elsewhere.
I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, there was a haste on Ember. I don't think you can run from that.
Fair enough.
And he doesn't have Ghost Walk because of Exhort Quas.
Yeah, just like you said earlier, if you don't have Quas Wex, those
Yeah.
ganks are a lot easier to come by.
Even though Hani got the kill, he's still behind in this lane, like even with G dying, because he got a Sunstrike kill, so he's still doing quite well for himself.
It seems he was rushing a hand of Midas. It would just...
Yeah, some people go hand of Midas, some people just go treads, some people go Force Staff. I personally don't play Exort that much because I'm pretty bad at it, actually. I'm just like, for whatever reason, I always forget that I have Forge Spirits up, Fissure.
Ooh, mid lane Sunstrike's going to come by.
Yeah, but it misses.
Yeah.
I actually stack jungle camps when I play Invoker. Then
Meteor
meatball
it.
them.
Yeah. Do you do like the 4 Exort, 1 Quas, 1 Wex build? I've seen people do that too.
I actually sometimes get more in Quas than Exorts because the Forge Spirits don't have enough time to stack camps.
Yeah.
And the Quas increases the duration of them.
Yeah, that's true. It's a pretty good idea. But can't you just, like, on the 30-second creep wave, just always spawn a Forge Spirit and guarantee stack?
Not if it's level 1 Quas.
How long do they last level 1 Quas?
Like 14 seconds or 15 seconds or something.
Really? That's
You
it?
hover over it there.
Can't open the...
20 seconds. It's
20
20,
seconds.
30, 40, 50, 60.
Okay, yeah.
Which
So you
level
do need
was-
2 Quas. Minimum.
I like how this has changed into like a
Well, the thing is,
Invoker.
Invoker is a fun hero, like in all aspects. Like, he's fun to watch.
Uh-huh.
So I'm interested in it.
I think
Speaking-
Jotun's dying right
he's,
here.
He's dead. He
Yeah.
is super dead.
TP support.
TV supports are coming. Oh, there's a grave though. Can they drive him away? He might have just a sleight of fist and does have fairly long range. What a zip was that, honey?
Maybe he forgot that when you're slow, you
Oh,
can't.
no deny. Well then.
Okay, so for any Ember Spirit player out there who doesn't understand what just happened, when you're slowed and you actually use a Spirit, like you're casting the spell itself, not going to the Remnant that's already out, the movement speed is based on your move speed.
Yes. So this, if
So
you're
Hani
slowed,
tried to throw out a Spirit to snipe the kill after the Grave wore off, but he was poison touched, so he didn't actually go to it, which sucks for him.
yeah, that's a costly death, especially when he's behind.
Yeah, he's still only got 13 CS. It's 6 minutes into the game. Like, he is not having a great time.
He's reliant on levels, though, Ember, more than farm at the start, really.
I mean, you still need some items, because the thing is, if you're going mid-Ember and you're maxing Flame Guard, you're not going to be on the outside of the fight just spamming Sleight of Fist like you would if you were a carry. You're going to be in the middle of the fight with Flame Guard and
Dire's
hoping that
bottom
that deals a
tower
majority
is
of your
under
damage. So I
attack.
would actually argue the opposite. If you do not have farm on this hero and you're trying to stay in the fray, at least for the first 20, 30 minutes of the game, you're going to get demolished. Like, that's a problem because they have a Drow and an Exort Invoker, so there are methods that they can use to just flat out destroy you.
Yep.
So
And this Exort Invoker just picked up Hand of Midas, so his right clicks will be that much stronger, that much faster, and he's gonna get those levels. So I imagine Ember Spirit either have to leave the lane now to actually recover by ganking his way back in the game. I don't think farming his way back is gonna work. We'll see though.
Chen seems to be sniffing out middle again.
the one thing we always have to be keeping track of too is like the carries in comparison to each other. I mean, Drow has gotten pretty much the same exact farm as Era, more or less, like 2 or 3 CS difference maximum.
Era died once though.
Yeah,
Dire
Era did die, but it was
structures
super
are
early. I don't think he lost much
Oh,
gold.
Trixie though
Speaking of
now.
Trixie,
Top tower
it's in
is
trouble.
under
Frost
attack.
arrow spam. NS behind the tower. Nice
Ooh.
fissure. Look at
Dire's
that range,
bottom
man.
tower is under
Unbelievable. There's even a
attack.
ward behind that little patch of trees, so they're going to be able to pick him off, and they get the tower. Illidan secures the last hit, and this is looking really solid so far for VP.
Yeah. Also, very interestingly, that Illidan has maxed his aura first.
Off top, Arsart not having a great time.
He's made a steal.
Radiant's
He's
top
grand.
tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
he's got the pots and pans to protect him. Man.
Structures are fortified.
They're trying to bring down this tower, but that Rocket Flare is actually doing a ton of damage. Rocket Flare being maxed out. This is actually not a build that a lot of Clockwork players really like nowadays, because if you catch a support with a level 1 battery assault, you're not getting the kill. But it's actually doing a lot of work here. We saw him securing a kill against Ember Spirit earlier, and now pushing out the creep wave. So there is merits of the Rocket Flare max spell.
Yeah, I like it in this case because Morphling's not a hero that is known for his laning potential necessarily. So just having that kind of a skill to deal harassment damage before he got the Ring of Health. I mean, obviously now that he has it, it's not as bad. But just to be annoying and just to be able to steal like pulls and stuff like that from No Tail or the support, if Fly was up there doing it, it's still really nice to have. And the other thing too is he's not going to be going for solo kills against those heroes. He can't go for Morphling after Waveform is actually skilled and he has enough mana to use it because Battery Assault won't be effective in that situation. So
Did you ever see a Clockwork block camps with the rocket? It's so infuriating.
it's very annoying, yeah. I have seen it, but it's actually hard to do.
It's really difficult. You have to like time the rocket to fly over it at the
Yeah, it
exact
has to
spot.
be over the camp, not hit it, but over it when the thing spawns.
Okay, I've got a question about Morphling here. If you replicate the Drow, do you get as passive?
I don't think so. I don't.
There's some passive you get and some you don't.
Yeah, I think that's actually one that you don't get.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of ridiculous. And
Mid lane, they're gonna go gank. They are gonna hit the chain, and here comes Fly. Where is a Shackle or Hex? There's nothing. They finally do Shackle him, but the Grave comes in time. It's gonna be Hani that's dropping fast. Hand of God's gonna come through. Hani drops, and now they want Fly. Fly being sent back. The Fidget's right there, and they get him as well. Damn.
13 HP. Well, I mean, obviously he got graved, but insane reaction from VP. And that fissure, man, it actually blocked him. I couldn't even believe that.
Did it block them?
Yeah, it did.
I love the way they let the Dazzle TP first as well, so he had the quickest response.
Yeah, I think when you're playing playing any support, really, if you have a stun or if you have a grave like Dazzle, you should always be the first TP. I think even if like Jotum TP'd, he still would have died.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that you bring out a good point, right? If you have a stun or if you have a grave, that's an interesting argument. Like, who TPs first? Let's say if the Invoker wasn't that low, and let's say they're backing out from the tower, there might be a case that it's better for the Earthshaker to TP first to cut off the retreat path.
Oh, Trixie.
He's so fast.
Firefly. Illidan's going for vision. There's still that ward. Man, oh, he cancels.
Sunstrike?
Well, that was a bit off. Trixie knew though. He was doing the serpentine, man. He's like,
Oh, the rocket flare's coming through though, but it's kind of miss. Yeah.
Trixie
poor bot runner just
he
wants to
hasn't
go
left
home.
the area.
They
I
have
think
vision of him as well.
he'll make it back home.
Rock it on.
Oh, rocket flare.
Oh, Fly.
It's gonna be close.
Rest in peace, friend.
No,
just
I think
walked
it's gonna be
away.
fine. Meanwhile,
Oh. He got him. But he had Tranquil Boots, so he was regenerating that whole
Yeah.
time anyway. Sunstrike. It's just gonna
leave him
sit in the
alone.
base, man.
Poor
Now
bot
he's
runner.
just gonna permanently run back and forth the whole game. Just
So his skill
instinctively.
build, he hasn't learned any in Flame Break.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, it's
is
pretty
under
common
attack.
when you're in a situation where you're not going for kills to max Firefly, just because you can go to the jungle and potentially like stack and farm camps really quick to recover and get your Blink Dagger.
I think
So-
Flamebreak might have actually saved him once or twice. We saw how close those dives from Drow Ranger has been, so I'm actually surprised he doesn't have that 1 point just for the utility.
But they don't have any channeling heroes as well.
Well, he got it now. Like he
Yeah.
just skilled it at 8. He just leveled, so.
Stream cheater.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to go for him once again here. Earthshaker's hiding in the woods. There's the fissure. Oh my god, the damage output is absolutely insane. Trixie just melts. Here comes No Tail with this creeps coming around, but a little bit too late.
Now, I want to bring up something, unless this fight breaks out, in which case we'll talk about that. But yeah, they're not going to be able to chase. And Fnatic still continue to get
Dire's
a little
middle
bit
tower
farther and
is
farther
under
behind.
attack.
But we were talking about the defensive posturing of VP and what kind of potential they would have in that
Radiant's top
regard. But
tower is under
they've
attack.
actually been the aggressors for the majority of this game. They're the ones going for kills. Sure, Fnatic, they got counter-ganked once,
Oh,
but
they-
that was pretty much the only time. And now, speaking of, more aggression. Sunstrike coming in on top of Hani.
Dire's
She going to
middle
get himself
tower
yet
is
another
under
kill.
attack.
And Vitus.Pro have no intention of backing down. It's just, they're going, man.
You were saying in the draft about taking away Ember Spirit's mana, but now all they have to do is silence him. I mean,
Oh, Hook, middle lane. Arsar finds No Tail. He's going to block all the creeps out as well, and the meatball
Oh my
to
God.
follow it up. Trixie, he wants to find a lasso on Arsar. He's going to use a flame break, gets in range. He's going to pull him potentially into the tier 2. Era TP's in as well. It's going to be a very, very needed kill for Fnatic. That is their 3rd kill of the
Dire's
game.
bottom tower
Yeah, meanwhile,
has
when that
fallen.
kill was happening, there was an intense micro battle for the Tier 1 tower where the Invoker was using Force Spirit to last at the tower, and No Tail was trying to use the creeps to deny the tower. Looks like G with the high base damage won out that fight. Pretty good stuff for him.
I'm really concerned for Fnatic though,
Dire's
because
top tower is
at
under
first I
attack.
liked the Morphling pick a lot, but given how well VP are playing this, suddenly that pick doesn't really seem as relevant, because Illidan has already mowed down 2 towers, and he's going to hit level 11 soon, which means marksmanship is going to be doing even more damage. So at that stage, how do they really deal with him?
It's all on Trixie, really, isn't it?
Well, it is on Trixie, but I think Hani
Trixie
was
had
hoping to have a much better time.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of assuming that maybe that matchup would go more favorably for the Ember, but it really doesn't. So I think they kind of had their eggs in one basket, say, okay, Hani's going to buy us time for the mid game. That hero has a lot of damage output, but can't really live against VP's lineup.
Yeah, and VP's now just straight going for these towers. Look at Illidan. He already has a Mask of Madness and now a Shadow Blade. I don't think he'll be escaping much with the Shadow Blade. In fact, I think he's going to be like sneaking right behind people and start killing stuff. Invoker teleporting on top lane with a Boots Travel, Hanamitis, as well as a Force Staff. I do not see Fnatic actually stopping this push. This just reminds me of Cloud9 when they pushed down multiple towers and Fnatic could not do a single thing against the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, I really feel as though Fnatic just, it sounds weird, but they aren't experienced against playing Drow lineups. The Cloud9 game was a bit different though, because they put the Drow mid.
Yes.
And they weren't really expecting it. And speaking of expectations, looks like VP is well aware that Fnatic is doing Roshan, but they just don't care.
Yeah.
They say, you can have your Aegis, it's fine. We're going to take your safe lane tier 2.
Who do you give the Aegis to?
In this case, I would probably say Hani, but no,
Yeah,
Era's
I'm
gonna take
surprised it's not
what
Hani. Hani needs to jump in and, like you say, use the Flame Guard for the most of his damage, and he most likely will be dying. So Era might be playing that frontline role. Yeah, I don't think Vitus.Pro cares. They're going to just go up the high ground, activate the Mask of Madness, and just go. They have Anna's backing things up with Grave. They have Arzar on the backline as well, you know, hooking and whatnot. So see whether these tier 3 towers going to be going down quick.
That rocket is actually hurting a lot. Like,
The base defense for Fnatic is still pretty good. Once you have Mass Serpent Wards off
It's been
cooldown.
used. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when it's up again,
he also
it'll be
maxed
nice.
out a
But
fist
I don't.
there.
I mean, VP, what rush do they really have? Do they really need to end the game right now? Because
They
the
don't?
Drow, farm-wise, is still pretty far ahead. Well, maybe not that far ahead, but a decent margin. 2,700 gold, give or take, right now at 15 minutes, which is actually, yeah, that's quite a bit. That's almost a full Shadow Blade worth of money, and the difference between Illidan and Era right now. So time is definitely not on Fnatic's side right now. If Era can manage to farm 1 or 2 items up, I think they might be able to hang on. But other than that, I think they're in a very bad situation.
Yeah, and I mean, what is going to happen for Fnatic in the next 2-3 minutes here? I think the best bet is having Trixie finish farming that Blink Dagger, which, by the way, we saw 10-minute blinks as a standard timing. You know, last couple times we've seen Bat Rider. Look at the time right now, 16 minutes, and Trixie barely farms a Blink. And even after he gets a Blink, guess what? Earthshaker is going to be your worst enemy from Vitus.Pro. So I feel like Trixie's going to have continuously a very tough time. And if Vitus.Pro wants, they could push down this mid tier 2 at any given moment and not really lose too many heroes for it.
I think they could just get it for free. I'm actually surprised they didn't just go
Just
after
go
they
from
saw
top to
Glyph.
mid? Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Because the glyph was used, so why not just go for the tier 2 straight away? Maybe they were a little bit afraid of the Aegis. I don't see why they would be. It's just a Linken's Morphling. Let's be honest, that hero doesn't impact much until he gets a second or a third item. I mean, he has it now, but
at the time they didn't. He didn't have it, yeah. Yeah, it's quite...
Even Jadam's going to have a Blink Dagger at around the same time that Trixie gets his.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
The thing that's even more staggering is looking at the net worth. It's like Hani is worth 3,600 gold. The support Earthshaker on VP has more gold than he does.
Power of towers, man.
Well, not just the power of towers, but the power of winning your lanes super hard.
What would you do differently in this case, in this game? Could you dual lane mid with Ember Spirit? Would that have made a difference?
I think when they saw the Invoker pick, it was just a little bit maybe too greedy to go for a Morphling, or maybe Era just doesn't play Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just saying, okay, well, we can't put Era on this, we need somebody else to play it. Oh, I guess we have to put it mid. It's a bad matchup, but we'll try to compensate, you know? I think that's probably what ended up happening, because somewhere down the line, they could have picked a hero that would have matched up well against Invoker, they just never did it.
Like Queen of Pain.
Even Bat would have been better.
I think Bat should have gone mid, Ember safe, and then picked the off lane. But like you said, perhaps Era wasn't too experienced with the hero. And here comes this tier 1 tier 2 push. Fnatic though, now with the Aegis, a Linken's finish, and the possibility of a Mass Serpent Ward, as well as a Blink Dagger Batrider, does have some things to defend against it. So no one's making that rotation. Virtus.Pro is going to get this tower for free.
Dire's middle tower is under Dire's
Yeah,
middle
this
tower
is-
Does so
has
much damage to
fallen.
towers. It's crazy, like.
This is pretty much the worst case situation for heroes like Morphling, because you don't really have any solo kill potential right now. It's not like another hero like AM, where if you find a support out in the open and you have Manta Battle Fury, you can just kill the hero. Morphling doesn't really offer that until he has roughly like 10, 12,000 gold worth of items. So he needs like E-Blade, Linken's, possibly Treads, and like full agility morph basically to be able to do much. And Era is still pretty darn far away from that.
Yeah, I think Fnatic though still have some game in them, because the high ground defense of Fnatic is actually pretty impressive. You have, you know, Chen creeps offering things like Tornado, Mass Serpent Wards from Fly, the Batrider from Trixie. So I think breaking high ground is going to take some effort from Virtus.Pro. So
If they're 5-manning and you're Batrider, who do you go in and grab?
Well, that's the real problem that they're going to run into.
Is it Earthshaker?
I mean,
Is-
you want to grab either Drow or Invoker, but the problem is the Clockwork and the Earthshaker is going to just make you grab nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts as well. And even on top of that, once the Dazzle starts getting more levels, he can start putting more points into Grave, which means that potentially you could be looking at a Fissure, a Hook, and a Grave on the person that you go or try to initiate on, and that's
Radiant's bottom
not
tower
ideal.
is
Did you
under
see the
attack.
little troll kill the ward?
Yeah, man.
What a ninja troll.
Got to keep yourself safe. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way when you're dewarding your
The
own jungle.
troll, he's as equally
Radiant's
as important as
bottom
Chen.
tower is under
I don't know,
attack.
man.
It's his baby.
I really feel like this game got very, very out of hand very quickly for Fnatic. They just had a couple of mistakes. That counter gank mid, honestly, I feel is what turned the game the most. Like when they tried to kill G and they just couldn't do it,
The
and they
Dazzle
lost
TP,
2 people.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is momentum-changing stuff. Blink
Trixie.
Dagger on Trixie bottom lane, Enchant, Fissure, and good night. G manages to pick himself up some more gold, and he's almost got a Hex, and it's 20 minutes in.
Yeah, the really cool thing about Butcher Travel that allowed that gank to be successful was Butcher Travel allows you to stack TP with teleport scrolls without having a staggering time, if that
Right.
makes sense. So they both got there instantly, basically, and then Batrider just got picked. And we're looking at Drow Ranger's farm, Illidan's farm.
Just has 5k cash.
Yeah,
Casual.
casual.
I don't want to spend it. I just kind of like the gold.
What do you reckon here?
I would honestly just go like Butterfly. I assume he might do something like a Manta. It's not, well,
Sure.
Could he just go BKB?
Manta's good for the push, but he could go BKB. The thing is, I don't really think he needs it.
I don't think he needs it either. I mean, you have a
Oh, he does. He
Dazzle,
gets a BKB.
you have an Earthshaker, you have a Clockwork. I would personally favor a Mjolnir. Just stack
Yeah.
up the DPS.
With the BKB, he's like, I don't give a shit about anything. We're
But
going
he
hard.
already doesn't, to be
Yeah, but
honest.
his lineup is supposed to be made to defend him anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Nobody can defend
getting a
other people.
BKB is redundant in terms of an item choice, because you already have an Earthshaker, a Grave, and a Hookshot to protect you.
Right.
Like, that's what the heroes are there for.
In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're BKB, your Dazzle cannot heal you or grave you.
Yep. Well, actually, I think you can still get healed. You just can't target him with the heal.
Okay, but you definitely
But you
cannot, grave,
cannot
him.
grave him.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about this, but they're so far ahead. Like, as long as he spends his go and
Yeah, I
does
don't think it
something,
matters.
yeah, it's fine.
Oh no, Trixie, not again. Trixie, never forget 2014.
Who has Trixie on the team?
He just wants to get farm. Isn't it Bruno? Don't you have Trixie?
I think you have Trixie.
It's not great.
It's not looking great.
I'm not playing anyone.
Oh, you have
he
a
has a
bye
bye.
week. That's right.
I beat that bye
And
guy
it doesn't
last week.
matter. It doesn't matter that Era is getting wrecked right now because you're beating me by like 8 billion points.
Yeah, but he's still only 1-1, and he has a ton of CS, so he's still getting me points. It's just
Alright.
not as many as,
Last week,
yeah.
I think Era led the field.
Wait, who got the last hit on the? Wait, never mind. Fnatic haven't killed any towers.
Just a little on
I was like, wait a minute, who got the last hit on? Oh. Yeah,
Not
it's
good times, man.
It's not
good
great.
times. Yeah, look at Illidan. He's got the well now the Alacrity buff from G. He's also got
Oh my
the
God, look
Weave
at that
buff
damage.
from NS. Man, look at this. It's like a tank that could also move very quickly and tank. When I say tank, I don't mean the RPG term of tank. I mean like a freaking German tank that
Okay.
rolls over things. Here we go.
I like that.
Tower.
Oh, that didn't
There's
hurt
just
him.
no way, man. Like, this tower is so dead.
You're
He hit-
defending.
230.
I mean, they're doing their best, but the thing is, That is a naked Deso Ember Spirit. So if he gets touched, he's going to turn into space dust. Like, he just doesn't have any items at all. I think this shows one of the glaring weaknesses of Ember is that he's still very reliant on his laning phase. Era goes in pretty aggressively.
All right.
He got sent home, obviously.
Nice.
Now, if you have an E-Blade, that suddenly becomes a lot more terrifying.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he does not have one. So an Alacrity here. Illidan just shooting the tower. The silence on Era. He misses from low
3
ground.
times in a row,
Like a
isn't it?
million times, yeah. But they get the tower for free. And the thing is, I still feel as though they could just go high ground and just sit up there with Illidan.
Are they in a rush though? They're not in a rush at all. They're just relaxing.
I mean,
Well-
I think they should go now, knowing that Bat Rider is not even there. Like, because they
Yeah.
scout him out with the rocket. It's a 5v4.
Tower is under
They should
attack.
just start hitting the building.
Yeah, this is going to be a Rex, pretty much.
Normally, Sleight of Fist harass like this is very good, but Dazzle, providing the HP, constant HP regen. Another Weave comes online, which is totally negating the damage that Desolator is putting out by Ember Spirit.
Cooldown on Weave, it's ridiculous. It's nearly up by the time it wears off.
Yeah, more or less. I think, doesn't Aghanims make it last longer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it increases the amount you get per second.
Yeah, it looks like Illidan is actually going to use his Shadow Blade for the first time. He's going to go right on Trixie on top lane. Look at these deeps coming out. The BKB is going to allow him to secure that kill. Personally, not a big fan of his item choice this game, but again, it doesn't matter. They're so far ahead.
This is actually a really big shock. Like, VP have come out of this pretty damn strong.
Well, James called it, man. VP going to win this game.
We were all non-believers.
Yeah. Except James actually thinks VP suck, but
I'm sorry, VP.
That's harsh, man. That's worse than we got it. But regardless, still VP playing a very, very solid game. They take middle rocks. It's 14-3, so it's not like it's been an insanely action-packed game. It's just very methodical. VP going through the motions, killing all the towers, assuming map control. They haven't lost a tower of their own,
yeah.
which is very impressive against a team with a Chen and a Shadow Shaman.
Right.
They haven't lost a tower.
I mean, we looked at all the Shadow Shaman wards. In fact, there was only one of them. It was in the
Roshan.
Roshan pit.
Defensively placed, right?
So, sorry, Shane, you were...
Okay, so they got the Aegis on Ember and they didn't do anything. It just wore off, and that was that. They didn't like say, okay, we have the Aegis, we have a small
Was there a
advantage.
Morph, I think?
Or Morphling, yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything though. Do you think they should have been more aggressive with the Aegis?
I think they could have been, honestly, because Era just didn't do enough to warrant giving him the Aegis. Sure, it lets you have 2 lives, but all you can do aggressively is waveform, hookshot onto Trixie. Cogs are going to be there. Follow-up Fissure. Sunstrike not even necessary. Arsark gets the kill with Battery Assault. Illidan actually netted inside of the base. Still has his BKB. Forestaff out to safety by G, who also is very close to an Orchid on top of his Hex. He is unbelievably farmed. He's actually more farmed than Illidan, which is kind of bonkers to think about. Oh no, another hook. This time it's going to be on Hani. The silence is there. Shadow Shaman wards dropped. Arsark stuck inside of his own cogs, but the meatball and the fissure pretty much just end the game.
You know
And
what? You know what?
Last kill was Jotum. It was Jotum, no, because they call it GG after Jotum got the double kill.
Okay.
So, it
So,
was Jotum.
you know what the other interesting thing was? There was no Flaming Lasso used at all in that game. It just shows you that Fnatic wanted to do things, but aside from that mid dive, which completely turned against them, they just had no other aggression whatsoever.
But they started off